Hello, in this session we are going to talk about the chemistry of life. This is the first session of your biology series. Why do we learn chemistry in biology? Because living organisms are made of chemical substances. So understanding chemistry helps explain how cells and organisms function. For example, dragonfly wings and plant tissues are composed of chemical compounds, and a cow licking salt demonstrates the importance of ionic compounds like sodium chloride in life. So, to understand the living organism, we have to know how they are made up of the chemical substances. So, the key idea here is life depends on chemical bonds and molecular interaction. For understand the biology, we have to have a thorough knowledge about that chemical bonds and molecular interactions. The atom, building block of matter. This is the smallest unit of an element. Atoms combine with each other and make the compounds. What is the structure of the atoms? The nucleus, the central part, contains protons and neutrons, and the electrons, they are in the orbiting shells around the nucleus. So how do the atom maintain the stability? So the atoms with full outer shells are chemically stable. When unstable, the atoms react to achieve a stable outer shell through bonding. This is an illustration of an atom. In the center, there is nucleus. In the nucleus, there are protons and neutrons. The electrons are in the outside of the shells. They are negatively charged. What are the types of chemical bonds? Atoms achieve stability by transferring electrons or sharing electrons. The transferring electrons is called the ionic bonds, and the sharing electrons is called the covalent bonds. So these both ionic and covalent bonds are vital in biological molecules and processes. Ionic bonding. The definition is the ionic bonding involves transfer of electrons between atoms. And when at that bonding, one atom loses electrons, so that atom becomes a cation, and another atom gains electron, so that atom becomes an anion. So the bond straight. Strong electrostatic attraction between oppositely charged ions, as for example, sodium chloride. Sodium plus and chloride minus ions held together in sodium chloride. This is the example. Sodium is positively charged, chloride ions are negatively charged, and its combined sodium chloride's stable form. Covalent bonding. The atoms share a pair of electrons, and these covalent bonds are very strong, and the molecules are usually neutral. They have polar covalent bonds, like unequal sharing of create. As the covalent bonding, there is unequal sharing. So this creates partial changes. There are gamma positive and gamma negative. Example, water, H2O. In this, there is oxygen. It is slightly negative, and the hydrogen becomes slightly positive for the covalent bonding. There is one oxygen molecule and two H molecules, and these combine the H2O ion. So dipoles and polar molecules. When shared electrons are unevenly distributed, the dipole one forms. This is represented by gamma positive and gamma negative. Gamma positive means partially positive and the gamma negative means partially negative. So the polar molecules have distinct regions of charge. The importance of this here is polarity affects how molecules dissolve, react and interact in cells. So as example, when there is polarity of water, it enables hydrogen bonding. This is an example of hydrogen bonding. Inorganic science. They are vital to life. Usually cells contain 6 to 70% of water. These cells contain dissolved ion from dissociated ionic compounds, and these ions are crucial for cellular and systemic functions. The important anions. The nitrate. Nitrate function is they needed to make amino acid, proteins and DNA in plants. Example is plant growth and protein synthesis. Phosphate is a component of ATP, ADP, DNA and RNA. So it helps energy transfer and genetic material. chloride. The function is for nerve impulses, secretory system, and the example is transmission of impulses. Bicarbonate ions, they buffer blood pH and they helps to maintain pH homeostasis. The important cations, the positive charge ones. Sodium, it also helps for nerve impulses, osmoregulation, so it helps for neural activity. Calcium ions, they are helpful for bone formation, muscle contraction, plant cell wall stability. So this example is skeletal and muscular systems. Magnesium ion, they help for cellular respiration, photosynthesis and pH balance. The example is energy metabolism. The hydrogen is a component of chlorophyll, so it helps for photosynthesis in plants. The chemistry of water. Water, H2O, is made up of two hydrogen atoms bonded to one oxygen atom. This is a polar molecule. Electrons are held closer to the oxygen. Gamma negative on oxygen and gamma positive on H. They are partially negative and partially positive. The hydrogen bonds, the weak attraction between water molecules, and these have collective effect, so high cohesion and unique properties. The hydrogen bonds. Within the water molecules, there are covalent bonds, and within water molecules, with each other, they have hydrogen bonds. There are unique properties of water. The water has high boiling and melting points. It's due to hydrogen bonding. And water is a universal solvent. It dissolves ionic and polar compounds. And it has a high specific heat capacity. So it stabilizes temperature. And it has a high surface tension. So it supports small organisms on water surface. And the density anomaly. So ice is less dense and it floats and insulates aquatic life. The biological importance of water. So, water is a transport medium. So it helps to move nutrients, hormones and waste. And it's a habitat. It supports diverse aquatic life. And also it helps for thermoregulation. It maintains stable environment. And for plant physiology, it helps to maintain cohesion and addition acid water transport. Examples are xylem transport in plants rely on hydrogen bonding and cohesion. Summary. So all living things depend on chemical bonding and water's unique chemistry. And the ionic bonds transfer electrons, they are charged ions. And the covalent bonds sharing of electron within molecules. Then the inorganic ions and water, they are essential for biological structure and function. So that's all about water. Thank you.